I prayed for a rose, a single rose, and in my heart I believed that was all I needed. The longing for this rose filled my thoughts, and I envisioned it in my mind, in every detail. I imagined its beauty, its fragrance, the softness of its petals, and how it would fill my soul with peace and joy. It was my desire, my wish, and I prayed for it with all the intensity of my being. But as I walked the path of faith, something remarkable happened. Something greater than I had asked for began to unfold. What I received was not just a rose, but a whole garden. In the quiet moments of my prayers, I had focused on a single flower, thinking that was the extent of my desires, my needs. Yet God, in His infinite wisdom, knew that my heart was capable of much more than I could have imagined. He saw the desires that lay deep within me, the ones I had not yet spoken, the ones I had yet to realize. What I had thought was a small, humble prayer was in truth a prayer for much more. I had asked for a rose, but in God's perfect understanding of me, He knew I needed a garden that would not only fulfill my request, but transform me. You see, when we pray, we are not just speaking to God. We are declaring the state of our consciousness. We are tapping into a higher realm of understanding where the seed of our desire is planted. Our prayers are not just words. They are living thoughts that resonate with the divine, and in the silence that follows, the universe begins to move. What we think is a small wish is actually a great potential for creation. What we see as a single rose is in reality a whole world of possibilities waiting to manifest. As the garden began to take shape, I realized that the rose was only the beginning of something more profound. Every flower in that garden represented a dream, a blessing, a gift that had been born from the fertile soil of my faith. Each blossom symbolized a different aspect of life: love, success, peace, joy, health, all the things I had not asked for directly, but were part of the vastness of God's generosity. The garden was a reflection of my growth, an outward manifestation of the inner transformation that had taken place in my heart. In receiving the garden, I learned that our prayers are not limitations. We may think we are asking for something small, something specific, but God sees us as whole beings with infinite potential. He knows our true desires, even the ones hidden beneath the surface of our consciousness. When we pray, we are not just asking for a single rose, we are asking for the full bloom of our lives. We are calling forth the garden that lies within us, a garden full of abundance, beauty, and grace. The journey from the prayer of a rose to the garden I received was not immediate, and it was not without challenges. There were times when I wondered if the rose was ever coming, when the ground seemed barren and my faith wavered. But in those moments I remembered that the garden was already in existence. It was within me, planted deep in the unseen realms of possibility. Every doubt, every setback was simply a moment for me to realign with the truth that the garden was already mine to claim. This is the power of faith and trust. When you align yourself with the divine plan, you are no longer bound by the limits of your current understanding. You are connected to the eternal flow of abundance that transcends time and space. God does not give you what you think you need. He gives you what is aligned with your highest good. And in doing so, He opens doors you didn't even know existed. When you pray, do not limit yourself to a single rose. Do not limit yourself to one dream, one vision, one possibility. Open your heart to the vastness of the universe and trust that what you receive will be far greater than you can imagine. You may ask for a rose, but in God's hands, that prayer transforms into a garden that nourishes every part of your life, bringing you more than you could have ever asked for. Remember, the garden is not just something you receive, it is something you become. It is a reflection of your faith, your inner transformation, and your willingness to trust in the divine. The rose you asked for was only the beginning. What God has for you is beyond your current vision. Keep your heart open and let your prayers be seeds that grow into something more magnificent than you could ever imagine. I prayed for a rose, a single rose, and in the deepest corners of my heart I held that simple wish close. My soul yearned for the beauty, the fragrance, the touch of this one flower. I imagined it vividly, a rose in full bloom, its petals soft and inviting, a symbol of everything I desired. And as I prayed, I believed with all my heart that this was enough. This one rose would be my sign, my fulfillment, and my peace. But as I continued to walk in faith, I came to understand that what I had asked for was only a small piece of the abundant life that God had planned for me. Instead of the single rose, He had given me a garden, a vast, thriving garden that would bloom in ways I could never have imagined. In the beginning, my prayers were filled with longing for that rose, thinking it was the only thing I needed. I focused on the single flower as if it were the epitome of my desire, the answer to my prayers. But as the days went by, as I continued to trust and surrender, I began to notice something incredible happening. The garden was not something I could see with my physical eyes, not at first, but within me, I could feel it, I could sense it. And as the seasons changed, as the days passed, that garden started to reveal itself in every corner of my life. What I did not understand when I first prayed for the rose was that God was not just responding to my request. He was answering it with perfect love and wisdom, giving me far more than I had ever thought to ask for. He saw the fullness of my soul, the potential within me, and He knew that I was capable of so much more. I had been asking for a single rose, but He was giving me a garden of endless possibilities, a garden that would bring me joy, peace, and fulfillment in ways I could not have foreseen. It's easy to get caught in the trap of believing that our desires are small, that we are asking for something too simple or too specific. We may think we are limited to what we can see, feel, or understand, but God's view of us is different. He sees the depths of our hearts, the layers of our being, and the infinite potential within us. Our prayers are not merely requests. They are invitations to the divine to show us what is possible, even beyond our limited understanding. We may ask for a rose, but in truth we are asking for the fullness of life itself. We are asking to be connected to the very source of all creation, and that source knows what we need far better than we do. I had prayed for that rose, and in doing so I was unknowingly opening myself to receive so much more. The garden I received was not just about material things or external circumstances. It was a reflection of the internal transformation that was happening within me. As the garden began to bloom, I began to see things differently. My heart opened wider, my mind expanded, and I began to understand the vastness of the universe and my place within it. What I had once thought was a simple prayer for a single flower had turned into a journey of self-discovery, growth, and awakening. The garden, I realized, was not just about external manifestations. It was about becoming. It was about stepping into the truth of who I am and embracing the abundance that already exists within me. The rose was merely the seed from which the garden grew. It was the initial spark that ignited a chain of events that would forever change my life. In receiving the garden, I realized that I had been praying for more than I could ever articulate with words. The rose was just the beginning, the first step, in a much grander journey that was unfolding before me. As I looked at the garden, I saw not just flowers, but opportunities. I saw not just beauty, but lessons. Each flower in the garden represented a different aspect of life: love, success, health, peace, creativity, and more. The garden was a living, breathing manifestation of everything that was available to me, waiting for me to embrace it fully. The rose was just a small part of a much greater whole, and I realized that the more I allowed myself to expand, the more I could see and appreciate the vastness of what was being offered. The beauty of the garden was not just in the flowers themselves, but in the way each flower came into being. I had not had to force the garden to grow. It grew naturally, effortlessly, just as all things in life grow when we trust the process and allow them to unfold. The rose I had prayed for was a symbol of my desire, but the garden was a symbol of God's abundance, grace, and perfect timing. What I had once thought I needed had been expanded into something far greater, than I could have ever imagined. As I walked through the garden, I was reminded that everything in life operates in perfect harmony. The roses, the lilies, the daisies, all were planted in their own time, in their own way. Each flower had its own unique beauty, its own purpose, and each was necessary for the garden to thrive. Just as each flower plays its part, so too do we each have our own role to play in the grand design of life. No flower is more important than another. They all contribute to the beauty and balance of the garden as a whole. And so it is with us. We may think that one desire, one prayer is more important than another, but in the grand scheme of things, everything is connected, everything has a purpose, and everything is part of the divine plan. What I had learnt was that the garden was not just a gift. It was a reflection of who I was becoming. It was not simply about receiving blessings, but about recognizing the power of my own creative potential. When we pray, when we believe, when we trust, we are not asking for something outside of ourselves to change. We are inviting the divine to reveal the truth of who we are and what we are capable of. The garden is not just a place where flowers bloom, it is a place where we bloom, where we grow into the fullness of our being, where we realize that we are part of the infinite, unchanging flow of life. In the garden, I learned to be patient. I learned that growth takes time, and that sometimes the most beautiful things take the longest to unfold. There were days when I wondered if the roses would ever bloom, if the garden would ever be complete. But in those moments of doubt, I remembered the promise that was made to me, that what I had prayed for would be given to me in perfect timing, in the right season. The garden in all its beauty and abundance was always there waiting for me to see it. And just as the garden grew in its own time, so too would my desires and dreams manifest in their own perfect time. It was not just the beauty of the garden that amazed me, but the realization that I was part of something much greater. The garden was not something separate from me, it was an extension of who I was. As I tended to the garden, as I nurtured it with my thoughts, my faith, and my love, I began to see that the garden was not just an external reality, it was a reflection of my inner state of being. The way I cared for the garden was the way I cared for myself. The way I nurtured the flowers was the way I nurtured my own growth. The garden was a mirror, reflecting back to me everything I was becoming and everything I had already become. The more I spent time in the garden, the more I understood that what I had prayed for was not just the fulfillment of a single desire, it was the beginning of a transformation that would continue for the rest of my life. Each flower, each petal, each stem was a reminder that life is constantly growing, constantly evolving, and constantly expanding. There is no limit to what we can receive, to what we can create, to what we can become. The garden was a testament to the infinite possibilities that lie before us. And the more we trust in the process, the more we allow ourselves to receive. As I stand in the midst of this garden, I realize that my prayer for a rose was not just about asking for something, it was about opening my heart to the limitless potential that resides within me. It was about trusting in the divine, knowing that whatever I ask for, God has already prepared for me in abundance. The garden is a reflection of my faith, my belief in the power of creation, and my willingness to receive what is meant for me. It is not just about the rose, it is about the entire garden, the fullness of life, and the infinite possibilities that await us when we trust in the process and allow ourselves to bloom. As I stand among the vibrant blossoms, I can't help but marvel at the beauty of each individual flower. They have each come into being with their own unique energy, a unique form, fragrance, and color, all contributing to the harmony of the garden. Each bloom, no matter how big or small, is a testament to the divine order that is woven into the fabric of the universe. In the same way, each of us is a unique expression of life itself. When I prayed for the rose, I had no idea that God would give me a garden not just of flowers, but of opportunities, growth, and life experiences, each one bringing with it a lesson, a blessing, or a realization that would shape my journey. I often reflect on how limited my perception was when I first made that prayer. I thought I knew exactly what I needed, a single beautiful rose to brighten my life. I asked for it because it represented something simple, something I thought would bring me peace. But what I had failed to realize was that God, in His infinite wisdom, was not just answering my request for a flower, He was responding to the deepest desires of my heart. He was giving me the opportunity to experience the fullness of life itself, to witness the unfolding of all that I am capable of becoming. In this garden, I have learned that the process of growth is not linear. There are times when the flowers bloom quickly and times when they take longer to open. There are seasons of rapid growth where the garden seems to burst with color and life, and there are seasons of quiet rest when it seems like nothing is happening at all. But I have come to understand that in every moment, whether in the height of bloom or in the quiet stillness, the garden is always growing. Even when it seems like nothing is changing, beneath the surface the roots are deepening, the soil is nourishing, and the potential for future growth is becoming stronger. Just as in life, there are moments when things may appear stagnant, but this does not mean that growth is not occurring. In fact, it is often during these times that the most profound transformations are taking place, unseen and unheard until the time is right for them to emerge. The beauty of the garden is not just in the flowers that bloom, but also in the wisdom that is gained through patience and trust. Each flower represents a different aspect of life, a different lesson, and each one requires a unique form of care. Some flowers thrive in the sunlight while others prefer the shade. Some need constant attention while others grow best when left undisturbed. Just as we are all unique, each one of us has different needs, different desires, and different ways of blooming. The key is to honor and respect these differences, to give ourselves the space to grow in our own time and in our own way. The garden teaches me that there is no right or wrong way to grow. There is only the path that is unique to each of us. The act of tending to the garden is a sacred practice. It is a daily act of love, a demonstration of care, and a reminder that growth requires attention and intention. In the same way, our desires and dreams require our care and attention. The prayer I once offered for a single rose was just the beginning of a journey of learning to tend to the inner garden of my soul. Just as the physical garden requires water, sunlight, and nourishment to thrive, so too do our inner gardens require love, faith, and gratitude. By focusing on what we want to grow, whether it be our dreams, our relationships, or our health, we can cultivate a life of abundance. The more we nurture these desires, the more they begin to take root and grow. The garden is also a place of release. As I work among the flowers, I am reminded that in order for new growth to occur, old growth must sometimes be pruned away. This is a part of life, a necessary step in the process of evolution. Just as the dead leaves and faded flowers are pruned to make way for new growth in the garden, so too must we let go of old beliefs, fears, and attachments that no longer serve us. In the quiet moments of stillness, as I remove the old and make space for the new, I am reminded that growth cannot occur without release. We must let go of the past to make room for the future. We must trust that the pruning is not a loss, but rather a necessary part of the process, a way of clearing the space for something even greater to emerge. As the garden flourishes, I realize that the roses, the lilies, the daisies, they are all part of a grand design. They are not isolated, separate entities. They are interconnected, each one dependent on the others for balance and harmony. The roses need the daisies need the lilies, and all of them together create a symphony of beauty and life. This is a reminder that we too are interconnected. We are not isolated beings, but part of a greater whole. Our lives are intertwined with those around us, and our growth is often influenced by the growth of others. Just as the garden thrives because of its diversity, so too do our lives thrive when we embrace the richness of our relationships and experiences. It is in our interconnectedness that we find the true beauty of life. The garden, like life itself, is not static. It is always evolving, always changing, always expanding. New flowers are always blooming, new opportunities are always presenting themselves, and new lessons are always being learned. Just as the garden has its seasons, so too do our lives. There are seasons of growth, seasons of harvest, and seasons of rest. We cannot force the seasons to change, but we can trust that each one has its purpose. The garden teaches us to embrace each season with grace and patience, knowing that every moment is part of a greater cycle, a cycle that leads to ever-expanding growth and beauty. As I stand in the midst of this abundant garden, I am reminded of the incredible power of faith and trust. When I prayed for that single rose, I could not have known what was truly in store for me. But God in His wisdom knew exactly what I needed. He knew that the rose was not the end of my journey, but the beginning of something far greater. The garden that has bloomed in my life is a reflection of the abundance that is available to each of us when we trust in the process and believe in the power of our own creative potential. God did not give me just a rose. He gave me a garden of infinite possibilities, waiting for me to step into it fully. The key to receiving the fullness of this garden is to remain open, to trust in the divine timing, and to surrender to the flow of life. The garden does not bloom overnight, and neither do our desires, but when we remain faithful, when we trust in the unseen forces that are at work, we begin to see the fruits of our labor. Just as the flowers grow in their own time, so too will our dreams and desires manifest in their own perfect time. The garden teaches us that everything is in divine order, that nothing is wasted, and that every moment is a precious part of the unfolding of our lives. What I had once thought was a simple prayer for a rose has transformed into a lifelong journey of discovery, growth, and abundance. The garden is a reflection of the divine order that governs all of life. It is a testament to the power of faith, patience, and trust. The roses, the lilies, the daisies, they are all expressions of life, beauty, and love, just as we are. When we trust in the process, when we believe in the unseen, and when we surrender to the flow of life, we open ourselves to receive the fullness of the garden that is waiting for us. And so I stand in awe of the garden before me. I look at the roses that have bloomed, the lilies that stretch toward the sky, and the daisies that dance in the wind. Each flower is a testament to the power of creation, a reminder that our desires are always being answered in ways we may not understand. I prayed for a rose, but God gave me a garden that will continue to grow and evolve just as I will. And in this garden, I find not just beauty, but peace, not just abundance, but purpose. It is a garden of infinite possibilities, and it is mine to tend, to nurture, and to enjoy. As I stand among the flowers, I realize that every petal, every leaf, and every branch tells a story. The story is not just about the garden itself, but about the forces at play beneath the surface, forces that we often cannot see with our physical eyes, but can feel deeply within. There is a flow to life, a divine current that runs through everything. This flow guides the seed into the soil, the bud into bloom, and the flower into full expression. The same flow exists within us, directing us toward the highest versions of ourselves. Sometimes we resist this flow because we are too focused on what we believe we want or need. But when we surrender to it, when we trust that the garden is unfolding just as it should, we begin to see the greater beauty of the process. It is often said that the journey is just as important as the destination, and in the case of the garden, I have come to see that this is true. The rose I asked for was just the beginning, a single point of focus in the vast expanse of possibilities. When I asked for the rose, I had a limited understanding of what I truly desired. I thought I needed that specific flower to bring me happiness, to fulfill a sense of longing within me. But the truth is, what I wanted was not just the rose, but the feelings that the rose represented. I wanted beauty, I wanted peace, I wanted love, and the rose was simply a symbol of those desires. But what I learned in the process of receiving the garden is that beauty, peace, and love are not confined to a single flower or a specific moment. They are the very essence of life itself, constantly unfolding in ways we often cannot predict. In asking for the rose, I was asking for something specific, but God, in His wisdom, understood that what I truly sought was not a singular object or experience. What I truly sought was an abundance, a fullness of life that could only come when I let go of my attachment to the specific form and allowed the divine to give me something greater. In the garden, I witnessed the miracle of abundance every day. The roses bloom, yes, but so do the daisies, the lilies, the sunflowers, and every other flower that finds its place in the soil. Each one has its unique beauty, its own timing, and its own space to grow. And yet they all contribute to the greater harmony of the garden. This is how life works too. We are all unique individuals, each with our own desires, dreams, and paths. But when we release the need to control how these desires will manifest, when we allow ourselves to trust in the divine intelligence that governs all things, we find that everything we need is already in place. It may not appear as we expected, but it will be more than we could have ever imagined. When we are attached to a specific outcome, we limit the possibilities that can come our way. The mind tends to get fixated on what it thinks is best, often overlooking the many ways that life can surprise and delight us. We ask for a rose, believing that this particular flower will bring us the happiness we seek. But what we don't see is that God, in His infinite creativity, has already prepared a garden that will bring us not only the rose, but so much more. The garden is a representation of life's abundance, the richness that comes when we stop trying to dictate the terms of our experience and simply allow ourselves to be open to receiving what is best for us. I've learned that the roses I once asked for were not just flowers. They were an invitation to a deeper understanding of who I am becoming, and the infinite possibilities available to me. When we ask for something specific, we are often doing so from a place of limited understanding. We believe that this one thing will bring us the fulfillment we crave, but the truth is that life has a much bigger plan in store for us. But what I prayed for and what I was given is not just the fulfillment of a single desire, but the opening of a door to something much grander. The garden before me represents the boundless potential that exists in every moment, in every breath. As the garden grows, so too does my understanding of myself. Every time I observe the flowers, I am reminded of the endless potential within each of us. Each flower begins as a seed, hidden beneath the soil, seemingly insignificant, and yet it carries within it the blueprint of its full expression. And in the same way, each of us carries within us the blueprint of our greatest potential. We are not born as finished products, we are born as seeds filled with infinite possibility. The garden teaches me that our potential is already within us, waiting for the right conditions to bloom. We do not need to seek our fulfillment outside of ourselves. It is already planted within us, waiting for us to cultivate it. It is said that the garden reflects the state of the soul. If the garden is well tended, if the soil is rich and nourished, the flowers will bloom in their full glory. Likewise, if our inner world is healthy, abundant, and clear, our outer world will reflect that abundance. The key to creating a life filled with beauty and fulfillment lies not in our circumstances, but in the way we nurture our inner garden. Just as a flower needs the right conditions to grow, sunlight, water, and rich soil, so too do our desires need the right inner conditions to manifest. When we tend to our minds, hearts, and souls with love, gratitude, and faith, we create the environment for our dreams to grow. As I tend to my own inner garden, I am reminded that the growth process is not always smooth. There are times when weeds will appear, when pests will threaten to destroy the flowers, when the weather will be too harsh for the delicate blooms. And yet, these challenges are not signs of failure. They are simply part of the natural cycle of growth. The weeds can be removed, the pests can be managed, and the garden can be protected from the storms. In the same way, we face challenges and obstacles in life. But these are not signs that we are on the wrong path. They are simply opportunities to learn, to grow stronger, and to deepen our faith. Every challenge we face is an invitation to strengthen our roots, to deepen our understanding, and to trust in the process of life. The garden is also a reminder of the importance of patience. Flowers do not bloom overnight, and neither do our dreams. Growth takes time. There are moments of waiting, of uncertainty, but in these moments we are being prepared for the fullness of what is to come. The seed does not question the process. It simply trusts that in time it will grow into the magnificent flower it was always meant to be. And so must we. We must trust in the timing of our lives, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. The rose, the lily, the sunflower, they all bloom in their own time, and so will our desires, our dreams, and our greatest potentials. It's easy to become impatient when we don't see immediate results, but if we can shift our perspective, we can see that the waiting period is not a time of emptiness, but a time of preparation. In the same way that the garden is not barren during the winter months, neither is our life ever truly in a state of nothingness. Even in the quiet times, there is preparation happening beneath the surface. The roots are deepening, the foundation is being strengthened, the flowers are simply waiting for the right moment to emerge. What I have learned from this garden is that life is not about seeking perfection. It is about embracing the beauty of the journey, the process, and the unfolding. The garden is always changing, always growing, and always revealing new layers of beauty. In the same way, we are constantly evolving, constantly becoming. There is no end to this process of growth. We are not meant to arrive at a destination, but to experience the joy of the journey itself, to witness the miracle of transformation at every turn. In the grand tapestry of life, every moment is a gift. Every season, every challenge, every blessing is part of the divine unfolding. The garden teaches me to trust that I have everything I need within me to thrive, and that when I let go of my limited vision and open myself to the abundant possibilities of life, I will always be surprised by what unfolds before me. The garden is not just a collection of flowers, it is a reflection of the life I am creating. It is a reminder that when we trust in the divine process, when we surrender to the flow of life, we are given more than we could ever have imagined. What I prayed for was a rose, but what I received is a garden. A garden that continues to grow, evolve, and bring me gifts beyond my wildest dreams. As I stand in the midst of this garden, I realize that the true gift is not the flowers themselves, but the realization that everything I need has already been provided for me. The rose I asked for was just a glimpse into the abundant life that awaited me. The garden, in all its diversity and beauty, symbolizes the fullness of life that flows through each of us, waiting to be embraced. It is not about holding on tightly to a single desire or outcome, but about trusting that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, will give us exactly what we need, often in ways we never could have imagined. The garden is a living testament to the power of surrender, patience, and faith. Just as the flowers grow in their own time, so too do our dreams and desires unfold when we allow them the space to bloom naturally. Every season, every challenge, every moment of waiting is a part of the divine process that leads us to greater fulfillment and joy. When we open our hearts and minds to the abundant possibilities of life, we begin to see that the garden we've been given is more than we ever thought we needed. In the end, the garden is not just about the beauty of the flowers, but about the beauty of the journey itself. It is about trusting the process, letting go of expectations, and allowing life to unfold in its own perfect timing. And as we do, we discover that the garden we once prayed for is only the beginning of a life filled with endless possibilities, waiting for us to step into its abundant flow. Your wait is over, and God's plan is unfolding before your very eyes. You have long anticipated this moment, felt the heaviness of waiting, and perhaps even doubted if the promises made to you would ever come to fruition. But here's the truth. You were always meant to wait, for in the waiting, the seeds of your destiny were being planted. God in His infinite wisdom operates in perfect timing. Your thoughts, your words, and your actions have created a magnetic force that draws to you everything that is necessary for your growth and manifestation. You see, you are not simply a passive observer in this unfolding. You are the co-creator of your own reality. The desire you hold in your heart, that longing for fulfillment, is not a mere wish. It is a divine signal, a reflection of what is already yours, waiting to be claimed. The thoughts you think today are the keys that unlock the doors to your future. Understand this: the delay you felt was not a denial, it was preparation. In this time you were being shaped and molded into the person who could receive the blessings that were always intended for you. You are now ready, for you have been refined through patience, and you have grown stronger with each challenge faced. God's plan unfolds not in the way you expect, but in the way that aligns with your highest good. And while the path may seem unclear at times, trust that every step you take, whether you understand it or not, is taking you closer to your divine destiny. The universe does not operate on your timetable, but on the perfect rhythm of divine timing. As the fog lifts and the vision becomes clear, you will see that everything has been orchestrated to bring you exactly what you need when you need it. You are no longer waiting in vain. You are stepping into your birthright. Your desires are coming to you because they are a reflection of who you are becoming, and who you are becoming is aligned with the truth of who you are in the eyes of God. Know this: the journey, the waiting, the preparation were all steps in your personal transformation. The version of you that stands here today is not the same person who began this journey. You have evolved, you have ascended, and now as the fullness of God's plan unfolds, you step into the life that you have always known was meant for you. It is not a dream far off in the distance. It is right here, right now, unfolding before your eyes. What you have waited for is no longer in the future. It is here, in the present moment, made manifest by your own belief and unwavering trust in the process. The seeds that were planted have now grown into the magnificent life that is yours. Everything is aligning perfectly, just as it was meant to be. So, do not look back. Do not second guess the process. Everything that is happening for you, and everything that is meant for you is already on its way. You have waited, you have trusted, and now you are walking into the divine unfolding of God's perfect plan. Your time is now. Your wait is over, and God's plan is unfolding before your very eyes. You have carried your desires, hopes, and dreams for so long, and yet it seemed as though time stretched on without any sign of movement, as though your prayers had gone unheard. But now, in this very moment, you are standing on the precipice of everything that you have believed for. Everything that has been promised to you is about to manifest in ways that you could never have fully imagined, because the divine has its own perfect timing, its own flawless rhythm that can't be rushed or hurried. You see, the delay you felt was never a rejection, but a process that was shaping and preparing you for the life you are about to step into. As human beings, we often become impatient when the desires of our hearts seem so distant, yet in the quiet moments, in the time of waiting, we are being attuned to a frequency of divine alignment. This waiting is not in vain. It is a necessary part of your transformation, of your evolution into the person who is capable of receiving the blessings that have always been meant for you. What you must understand is that your desires are not merely wishes or fleeting thoughts. They are part of the divine order, a reflection of the infinite potential that exists within you. God's plan, though unseen, has always been at work in your life, and it has been unfolding in ways you could never have imagined. While you may have looked around and seen others achieve what you longed for, while you may have questioned why your moment hadn't yet arrived, understand this: your journey is uniquely yours. The universe does not measure time in the way that you do, and the perfect timing for you to step into your destiny may differ from the timing of others, but that does not diminish the fact that your time is now. In the waiting, you have been prepared for this very moment. in the quiet, in the silence, in the stillness, you have been reshaped and remade. The divine timing that governs the unfolding of your life does not operate on the linear constraints of time that you are familiar with. You are being drawn into a higher realm of awareness where your inner knowing is aligned with God's will and everything is being orchestrated to perfection. What may have seemed like silence, what may have felt like the absence of movement, was actually the most powerful force at work within you and around you. Every thought, every emotion, every step you took during this time of waiting was an integral part of the divine preparation that was occurring. As you moved through this period of seeming stagnation, you were not stagnant at all. No, you were being prepared for the greatness that was waiting for you. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your inner state were being fine-tuned to match the frequency of what you are now ready to receive. You have shed old layers, you have released old patterns, and you have allowed yourself to grow. The person you were when you first began this journey is not the same as the person who stands before the manifestation of your dreams. You have evolved, you have become stronger, more resilient, more capable of receiving the fullness of your blessings. This waiting period was not a sign of a lack of movement, but rather a time of great inner movement. The universe was shifting things behind the scenes, rearranging circumstances, and preparing the right people, the right opportunities, the right moments, all to align perfectly with the person you are becoming. It is in the waiting that you have built the foundation upon which your dreams will stand. You have become more than ready for what is about to unfold. God's plan for you has always been in motion. The divine knew what was coming for you long before you ever imagined it. Everything you have gone through, every challenge, every setback, every moment of doubt was all a part of the journey that was necessary to bring you to this point. The challenges you faced were not meant to break you, they were meant to strengthen you. They were meant to show you that you are capable of overcoming anything, and through them you have grown into a person who is now worthy of the blessings that are about to pour into your life. The universe does not reward weakness, but it honors strength, perseverance, and faith. Your desires are not mere fantasies. They are the divine expression of your highest self, and they are already on their way to you. The energy that you have put into your dreams, the thoughts that you have held in your mind, the belief that you have cultivated in your heart, have all been magnetic forces drawing your desires toward you. And now you are in alignment with the divine. You have risen to a frequency where what you desire is now ready to manifest. Your wait was not a delay in the sense that you may have thought. It was the perfect incubation period, the necessary gestation time that ensured you were fully prepared for everything that is now arriving. As you stand here today in this very moment, you must recognize that your desires are no longer just dreams. They are your reality. You may not see all the details yet, but trust that everything you need to step into the fullness of your life is already in motion. The right people are coming into your life. The right opportunities are presenting themselves, and everything is aligning perfectly according to God's divine timing. Your job now is to hold fast to your belief and trust in the unfolding of the plan. In moments of doubt or impatience, return to the truth that everything is working in your favor. The divine timing of your life does not need to be rushed. It does not need to be pushed. It is unfolding exactly as it should. You have done the work, you have believed, you have trusted, and now everything you have asked for is coming to you in ways that are more wonderful than you could have imagined. God is not a God of delays, He is a God of perfect timing. And everything that you have been waiting for is now within your reach. You are now stepping into the fullness of your divine inheritance. What was once a dream is now becoming your reality. It is your time to experience the fruits of your labor, to experience the rewards of your faith, and to witness the manifestation of your desires. You may not know exactly how it will all unfold, but you must trust in the process. Trust that it is unfolding in the most perfect way. Your desires are no longer far off in the future. They are here, they are now, and they are unfolding before your eyes in ways that will surprise you. Your job is to continue to hold fast to your belief, to continue to trust in the divine order, and to remain open to the miracles that are about to come into your life. God has never left you alone in this journey. He has been with you every step of the way, guiding, protecting, and preparing you for this very moment. And now His plan for you is unfolding in ways that are beyond your understanding. What you once thought was impossible is now becoming possible. What you once thought was a distant dream is now your present reality. You are no longer waiting. You are stepping into your greatness. You are stepping into the life that you have always known was meant for you. The universe is ready to deliver. The doors are opening and you are walking through them. The time for waiting is over. The time for receiving is now. Your desires are here, and God's plan is unfolding perfectly before your eyes. As you stand in this moment filled with anticipation and excitement, it is essential that you fully understand the magnitude of what is happening. Your wait has not been in vain, and God's plan has been at work every step of the way, silently, steadily, and powerfully. While it may have felt like a season of silence, this period was filled with subtle shifts that were preparing you for the life you are about to step into. You have spent so much of your time looking for external signs, wondering when it would happen, when your desires would materialize. But what you must realize is that it has always been unfolding. It has been unfolding within you, within your thoughts, your beliefs, your actions. Every single moment has led you to this point, and now, as the pieces of your divine destiny begin to fall into place, you will begin to see that your waiting was the foundation for everything that is about to unfold. This is the divine rhythm at work in your life, a perfect timing beyond human understanding. You may have questioned the delays, the obstacles, the waiting period, but those very things were necessary to shape you into the person who could truly step into what God has prepared for you. You have been equipped, refined, and strengthened. What you are about to receive is not just a reward, it is the divine manifestation of everything you have been aligning yourself with all along. You have planted the seeds, and now the harvest is ready. The waiting period has taught you valuable lessons. It has taught you the power of patience, the strength that comes with trusting in a process that you could not yet see. In the quiet moments, when doubt crept in, you held on to hope. In the darkness, when things seemed uncertain, you trusted in the light. Every moment of uncertainty was actually a moment of growth. You were being prepared for this moment of revelation. When the truth of what you've always known becomes clear, your time has come. You must remember, everything in life operates according to divine laws. What you focus on expands. What you believe to be true manifests. And now your beliefs are aligning with the truth that everything you have asked for is coming to you. The universe works with you, not against you. And every prayer you have uttered, every vision you have held in your heart has been answered. It is only now that the answer is beginning to materialize in ways that will astound you. What you have waited for is not just the result of your own efforts, but the result of divine orchestration. Things have been moving in your favor, even when you couldn't see it, even when it felt like nothing was happening. You were being prepared for what was always yours. And now, as you stand on the threshold, it is time to embrace what is about to unfold. It is time to step into the realization of your deepest desires. The universe works through you. You are an instrument of divine creation. Your thoughts, your feelings, your intentions are magnetic forces that attract the energy of the universe. Every moment of your waiting, every moment of faith and patience was magnetizing the right experiences, the right people, the right opportunities, all to you. The universe does not operate in chaos, but in perfect order. A grand design that aligns everything perfectly at the right time. This is why, even when things seemed uncertain, they were moving according to a plan far greater than your understanding. Now that your wait is over, it is important to understand that this moment is not a fluke or a coincidence. This is the result of your inner work, your consistency, your faith in the unseen. You have already prepared yourself for the next chapter of your life, and you are now fully capable of receiving what has been held back until now. Your desires are no longer distant dreams. They are tangible realities that are unfolding with each passing moment. The doors that once seemed locked are now wide open, and all you have to do is walk through them. In every chapter of your life, there are moments where things may seem still, where progress appears slow. But this stillness is a sign of transformation. It is the quiet before the storm of blessings. And when those blessings come, they will come in waves, sweeping over you in ways you have not yet fully imagined. You have been through trials, and through those trials you have built resilience. You have been through heartbreak, and from that heartbreak you have found your strength. You have faced setbacks, and from those setbacks you have discovered a well of untapped potential. All of these experiences have worked together, molding you into the person you are today, a person who is now capable of receiving the abundance that is about to flow into your life. It is essential that you understand that the moment you have been waiting for is not just about the manifestation of external circumstances. It is about the shift that has taken place within you. Your mind has been transformed. Your spirit has been aligned with the divine, and now you are in perfect alignment with the blessings that are being released into your life. The external world must always reflect the inner state, and now that your inner state is in harmony with the divine plan, your external world must follow suit. But remember, it is not enough to simply wait. It is not enough to sit passively and expect things to happen. You must take action in alignment with what you are manifesting. You must act as if what you desire is already yours. When you move with the belief that everything you need is already on its way, you create an energy of openness, of readiness. This is how you begin to step into the life that has always been intended for you. It is time to release all doubts, to let go of all fears, and to step boldly into the fullness of what God has prepared for you. You are not just stepping into a life of abundance. You are stepping into your divine destiny. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. And in doing so, you will witness the unfolding of blessings that will surpass your wildest expectations. As you move forward, remember that the journey is never about perfection. It is about trust. Trust in the timing of God. Trust in the process, and trust that everything you desire is already on its way to you. There will be moments of uncertainty, but in those moments, remind yourself of the truth, that your waiting was never in vain. You have already done the work. You have already shown the universe that you are ready, and now everything you have been waiting for is ready to meet you where you are. The divine timing at play in your life is far greater than any human understanding can comprehend. And while you may have questioned why things took so long, why the desires of your heart seemed just out of reach, understand this: what is meant for you will always come to you. And now, as the veil lifts and the path ahead becomes clear, you will see that it was always unfolding. The wait was never about lack. It was about preparation. And now that preparation has brought you to the threshold of your greatness. Your desires are no longer a distant dream. They are your reality, unfolding right before your eyes. Everything that you have hoped for, prayed for, and worked toward is coming into fruition. The time is now. The universe is aligning with your desires. God's plan is unfolding perfectly, and you are right where you need to be. This is your time. This is your moment. The wait is over, and everything you have longed for is about to be made manifest. Your faith, your patience, and your perseverance have brought you here, and now as God's plan unfolds in your life, embrace the blessings that are already on their way. Step forward with confidence, with joy, and with gratitude. The life you have always dreamed of is now your reality. As you stand at this moment, feeling the anticipation of everything about to unfold, there is a deep sense of peace within you. You have always known that your desires were meant for you, that everything you have longed for would eventually make its way into your life. The time you spent in the waiting room, the moments of uncertainty, all of those experiences were essential. They were the quiet preparations that allowed you to grow, to strengthen, to align yourself with the greatness that was waiting for you. You may not have seen the full picture before, but now, as you stand on the brink of receiving the fruits of your labor, it becomes clear that your waiting was never a waste. Every moment, every step, every thought, every prayer you uttered was a part of this divine plan unfolding. God's timing is perfect, and what may have seemed like a delay was actually a time of deep refinement. The world around you may have appeared still, but within you things were shifting. You were being prepared to handle the fullness of what was coming your way. The universe was moving all things into place, aligning people, events, and opportunities to create the perfect conditions for your desires to manifest. What you need to understand now is that the time for waiting is over. Your moment is here. As you look back at the journey that brought you to this point, realize that each experience, no matter how challenging or joyful, was necessary. Every setback, every disappointment, every moment of doubt, they were all part of the divine process. Through them, you gain wisdom, patience, and faith. These qualities are now a part of you, and they will guide you as you step forward into your new life. You have learned to trust in a power greater than yourself, to lean on faith even when things seemed uncertain. And now, as the fruits of your labor begin to manifest, you will see that nothing was ever wasted. Every step, every action, every thought that aligned with your purpose brought you closer to this moment. It was all part of God's grand plan for you. Even in the most difficult moments, the unseen hand of destiny was guiding you, shaping you, preparing you for the blessings that are now unfolding. It is important to recognize that your waiting has also been about transformation. The person you were at the start of this journey is not the person you are today. Through the challenges you faced, you were forged into a stronger, wiser, more resilient being. Your faith has deepened, your belief in yourself has grown, and now you stand in the fullness of who you are meant to be. Your desires are no longer distant dreams. They are now the reality that is unfolding before you. You may wonder how this shift happens, how all the pieces of your life suddenly begin to fall into place. The answer lies within the law of attraction and the power of your own thoughts and beliefs. Every moment that you spent focusing on your desires, trusting that they would come to you, was actively working to bring them into your experience. The universe is not a passive entity. It is constantly responding to the vibration you send out. When you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with your desires, you activate a powerful force that draws everything into your life that is in harmony with your vision. This is why your waiting period was not a time of idleness, but rather a time of preparation. It was during this time that you were honing your ability to visualize, to feel the emotions of already having what you desire. You were practicing faith, practicing gratitude, and trusting that everything was working out for your good, even when the evidence was not yet visible. And now, as the manifestations of your desires begin to unfold, you will see that all the work you did in the unseen realm has now materialized in the physical world. This is how the universe operates, through your belief, your faith, and your ability to hold the vision of what you desire in your mind and heart. Everything is created first in the mind before it can be seen in the physical world. And so, as you held that vision, as you believed in the promise of your dreams, the universe began to align with that vision. The people, the resources, the opportunities, everything began to move in your favor. The wait, the silence, the stillness. It was all part of the unfolding of this divine plan. You must trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Even when things seemed unclear, even when you felt uncertain, you were still on the path that was meant for you. The journey is never linear. There are twists and turns, pauses and detours, but every step is leading you closer to your destination. You are exactly where you need to be right now, and everything that has happened so far has been preparing you for this very moment. As the manifestation of your desires begins to unfold, you may feel overwhelmed, excited, or even unsure of how to proceed. This is normal. When we finally receive what we've been waiting for, it can feel like a flood of emotions, a whirlwind of new possibilities. But remember, this is exactly what you've been praying for, and now that it's here, you must embrace it fully. You must receive it with gratitude, knowing that it is your birthright to experience the abundance and blessings that are now flowing into your life. Now more than ever, it is important to keep your focus clear. You must continue to align yourself with the energy of your desires. This is not the time to doubt or second guess. It is the time to act as if you already have what you desire. Feel the joy, the excitement, the fulfillment of your desires already being yours. When you align yourself with the feeling of having already received your blessings, you create a powerful force of magnetism that attracts even more blessings into your life. Understand that this is just the beginning. The universe is always expanding, always creating, always bringing more to you. As you step into the life you've been waiting for, know that more is on its way. This is the nature of divine abundance. It never runs out. It is infinite, always flowing, always giving. And now that you have opened yourself to receive, you will find that the blessings will continue to pour in. So as you step forward, as you embrace the unfolding of your divine plan, remember that your waiting was not in vain. It was a process of alignment, of becoming the person who could receive all that you have asked for. Your faith, your patience, your belief in what you could not yet see, all of these were the tools that allowed you to align with the divine flow of abundance. Now that you are in alignment, now that you have opened yourself to receive, there is nothing standing in your way. Everything you have desired is on its way to you, and the only thing left to do is to step into it fully, to embrace it with open arms, and to know with certainty that your time has come. Your waiting is ended. The divine plan is now unfolding in your life, and it is more beautiful and abundant than you ever imagined. Take a deep breath, feel the excitement rising within you, and know that you are walking into the life that was always meant for you. Your desires are no longer a distant dream. They are your reality now. Embrace it, welcome it, and step boldly into this new chapter of your life. The universe is ready to meet you where you are. As you take your first steps into this new phase of your life, it is important to remember that every part of this journey was part of your divine design. Nothing that you have experienced up until now has been by chance. Every trial, every test, every moment of feeling as though you were standing in the dark waiting for something to happen, these were the essential moments that shaped your soul, refined your character, and brought you to the precise point in time where you now stand. This moment is not just a random occurrence. It is the culmination of your faith, your persistence, and your unwavering belief that the best is yet to come. Throughout your journey, you may have questioned why things took so long, why it felt like you were always just one step away from your dreams, but never fully realizing them. It was in those moments of frustration that you were actually learning the most valuable lessons. You were learning to trust, to believe when belief seemed impossible, to have faith even when the world around you appeared to be in chaos. Your mind was being prepared to hold the greater good, to hold the abundance that is now coming into your life. Many people go through life believing that if something hasn't manifested by a certain time, it may never come. They see time as the enemy, as a limit that confines their dreams and desires. But time is not your enemy, it is your ally. Time is the vehicle that carries your dreams from the unseen world into the physical realm. It is through time that your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are woven together to create the experiences you desire. The waiting period was never a waste. It was the essential preparation for what was to come. In those moments when you felt like giving up, when you questioned if it would ever happen, you were being shaped in ways that you may not have been able to understand at the time. The strength you have now, the courage, the clarity of vision, these qualities were cultivated during those times of waiting. You were not just waiting for things to happen, you were becoming the person who was ready to receive them. The delay was never a denial, it was the divine unfolding, a process of aligning your inner state with the outer manifestation of your desires. Now, as the manifestation of your dreams begins to materialize, you will see that it was all worth it. You may have doubted yourself, your dreams, or the process at times, but now you can look back and see that everything was moving in the right direction, even when you couldn't see it. The universe was always working behind the scenes, moving things into place. You were always being guided, always being directed toward your highest good. The doubts, the frustrations, the questions, these were simply signs that your faith was being tested. And with each test, you became stronger, more resilient, more aligned with the flow of abundance. When you look back on your waiting period, you will see that it was more than just a time of anticipation, it was a time of transformation. Your thoughts were shifting, your beliefs were evolving, and you were learning to trust in the unseen forces that were guiding you. This is the magic of the universe. It doesn't require your understanding of how everything works. All it asks of you is that you believe, that you trust, and that you remain open to the unfolding of your dreams. The key now is to remain in this state of trust. As you begin to witness the manifestation of your desires, you must hold your focus. Do not allow doubt or fear to creep back in. The moment you begin to second-guess the process, you begin to slow down the very momentum that has already started. The universe responds to your vibration, and if you continue to align with the energy of your desires, they will continue to flow toward you. The key is to hold the vision of your desires with a sense of calm and certainty, knowing that everything is happening in perfect timing. You see, the divine timing at play in your life is always unfolding for your highest good. Every moment, every event, every interaction is part of the plan to bring you to this very moment. Your waiting was not for nothing. It was the process of aligning you with the divine flow of abundance that is now pouring into your life. The wait is over, but the unfolding has just begun. Your dreams are coming to fruition, and with each passing moment, you will see more and more of the picture coming into focus. You may be tempted to rush to push things forward, but trust in the divine flow. Everything is happening at the perfect pace. There is no need to rush or to worry. The universe has already begun the work of bringing everything into alignment. Your job is to remain in a state of gratitude, to continue to focus on the feeling of having already received your desires, and to trust that they are already on their way. There is a power within you that has been quietly working throughout this entire process, even when you didn't realize it. This power is the power of belief, the power of your thoughts and emotions to shape your reality. When you held the vision of what you wanted, when you spoke those words of faith, when you believed in the impossible, you activated this power. And now that power is in full swing, bringing everything you've asked for into your life. It's important to recognize that the universe is constantly responding to you. It is a mirror, reflecting your thoughts, your beliefs, and your emotions. What you focus on expands. What you believe to be true becomes your reality. And now that you are in alignment with your desires, you will find that things begin to manifest at an accelerated rate. Opportunities will arise that you hadn't even considered. People will show up who will support your journey, and doors will open that you never imagined were there. You must also remember that this is just the beginning. Your dreams are not just a destination. They are a stepping stone to even greater things. As you embrace the life that is unfolding, know that the universe is always expanding, always providing, always giving more. The abundance you are experiencing now is only the beginning of an even greater flow of blessings. As you continue to walk in alignment with your purpose, the universe will continue to deliver more and more to you. So what you need to do now is simple. Trust. Trust in the process. Trust that your desires are already yours. Trust that the universe is working on your behalf, even when you can't see all the moving pieces. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be and that everything is unfolding perfectly. The wait is over. The time for action is now. But your job is not to force things to happen. It is to stay in the flow, to stay in alignment with the truth that everything is already working out for you. The waiting was not about patience alone. It was about growth. You have grown into the person who can now fully receive the blessings that are being poured into your life. You have learned to trust, to believe, and to be patient with the process. And now that the moment has arrived, you must step forward in full faith, knowing that everything you've dreamed of is already on its way. You are ready, you are aligned, and the time has come for you to step into the abundant life that is waiting for you. The manifestation of your desires is not an end, but a new beginning. It is a confirmation that everything you have worked for, everything you have believed in, is coming to fruition. It is proof that the universe responds to your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. And now that the manifestations are beginning to appear, you will know that there is more to come. There is no limit to what you can receive. As you continue to trust, to believe, and to stay aligned, you will see that this is just the beginning of a beautiful and abundant journey. Your wait is over and your time has come. Step forward in faith and watch as your desires unfold before your eyes. Trust that the universe has heard your prayers, felt your desires, and is now bringing them into your reality. Everything is in perfect alignment. The divine plan is unfolding. Your dreams are coming true. Now it's time for you to receive the abundant blessings that are yours. You have arrived at the threshold of your divine destiny, and every moment leading up to this has been leading to this very moment. It's almost as if you've been in the dark waiting for the light to break through, and now, at long last, you can see the rays shining, illuminating the path ahead of you. You may not have always understood the process, but in this very moment, you realize that the waiting was not a test of time, but a test of your faith. It was never about the passing of the days, but about the strengthening of your inner knowing, the deepening of your trust in the unseen forces that are always working on your behalf. The feeling you're experiencing right now, this mixture of anticipation, excitement, and wonder, this is the beginning of your new chapter. It's like you've been walking in the wilderness, feeling alone, uncertain, but still holding on to the belief that there was something greater ahead. And now you stand on the brink of something extraordinary. The time is now, and the waiting is over. Everything you've been dreaming of, every desire you've been holding in your heart, is finally about to manifest in the physical world. As you reflect on all the challenges and hardships you've faced, it's important to see them for what they truly were, opportunities for growth. Every moment that seemed like a setback, every moment where it felt like you were being held back, was actually preparing you for this moment of breakthrough. The person you are now is not the same person you were when you first started this journey. You have become stronger, wiser, and more aligned with your true purpose. Every difficulty, every challenge has been an opportunity to refine your beliefs, strengthen your resilience, and deepen your trust in the process. Now, all of that is paying off. The waiting has created the space for your soul to expand, to prepare for the fullness of the blessings that are about to unfold. The journey you've been on wasn't just about achieving your desires, it was about becoming the person who can fully embrace them. You've had to learn to surrender control, to trust the process, and to let go of any resistance you may have had. But as you now step into this new phase, you can see that there was no need to rush. The universe was working at its own pace. Now that the time is right, you are fully prepared to receive everything that is coming your way. You may still feel a sense of disbelief. How can this all be happening now? How is it that things are finally falling into place after all this time? But this is the nature of the divine. It's never too late. The universe doesn't operate on human time, it operates on divine timing. And what you've been waiting for is exactly what you've been prepared for. The years of waiting, the doubts, the confusion, they were all part of the divine plan to lead you to this very moment. It was all necessary for your growth, for your readiness to receive the abundance and blessings that are about to enter your life. It's important to acknowledge that the waiting period was not just about the physical manifestation of your desires. It was also about cultivating the mental and emotional state required to hold them. The universe has been preparing you to step into a new version of yourself, one who is capable of holding and receiving the blessings that are on their way. You are being called to step into your power, to embrace your divine nature, and to walk forward in full faith, knowing that everything you have been waiting for is now being delivered. Now that you have reached this moment, it's time to take action. The time for waiting is over, but this doesn't mean that you sit back and do nothing. Instead, it means that you step forward with confidence and trust, knowing that the universe is working in your favor. You must continue to hold the vision of your desires, to continue speaking words of faith, and to continue aligning yourself with the vibration of your dreams. This is the time for action. action rooted in trust, action rooted in belief, action rooted in the knowing that your desires are already on their way to you. The energy you put out into the world is what will attract your desires into your life. If you continue to vibrate at the frequency of doubt or fear, you will find that your manifestations take longer to materialize. But if you choose to remain aligned with the truth that everything is already happening, everything is already unfolding in divine order, you will see that things begin to flow effortlessly toward you. You have now entered a time of ease and grace, where everything you've been working toward begins to show up in miraculous ways. Remember that the process of manifestation doesn't stop with the initial signs of progress. It continues to unfold layer by layer until your desires are fully realized. The universe will continue to bring people, opportunities, and circumstances into your life that will further align you with your highest good. It's important to remain open, to stay receptive to the blessings that are coming your way. The universe has no limits, and neither do you. The waiting was just a preparation for the magnitude of the blessings that are about to unfold. As you move forward, be mindful of your thoughts. The mind is a powerful tool, and the more you focus on what you want rather than what you don't want, the quicker you will see your desires come to fruition. When doubt arises, gently shift your thoughts back to the truth, that everything you've been waiting for is already on its way. The waiting was necessary to prepare your heart, to prepare your mind, and to prepare your soul for the blessings that are now unfolding before you. And just as the universe has been preparing you for this moment, it will continue to prepare you for the next chapter of your journey. This is not a destination, it's a step on an endless path of growth, abundance, and transformation. The more you align yourself with your true purpose, the more you will see your desires unfold in ways that you could never have imagined. Each manifestation is a stepping stone to greater and greater things. As you walk this path, remember that the universe is always working on your behalf. You are always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. As the manifestations of your desires begin to materialize, know that it's only the beginning. The universe is always expanding, always bringing you new opportunities, new blessings, and new experiences. Your journey has only just begun, and the best is yet to come. The waiting is over, but your journey is far from over. In fact, it's just getting started. So now, as you stand in this moment of transition, step forward with confidence. Know that the universe has heard your prayers, felt your desires, and is now bringing them into your reality. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that your divine plan is in motion. The waiting is over. The time has come for you to embrace all the blessings that are now flowing into your life. The universe is abundant, and so are you. The divine plan has always been unfolding around you, even when you couldn't see it. It has been quietly working behind the scenes, shaping the events of your life, putting all the pieces into place. Your journey has not been random. Every moment, every setback, every leap of faith has had a purpose. You have been on a journey of awakening, one that has led you here to this very moment of realization. And now, as the fog begins to clear, you can see that everything has been aligning perfectly all along. The waiting that you have experienced was never meant to be a punishment or a period of lack. It was a time for refinement. It was a time for your soul to mature, for your consciousness to expand, and for you to become the person who could step into the fullness of your divine purpose. You had to learn to trust, to believe, and to know deep in your heart that what you desired was already on its way. And now you are ready. Your waiting is over. The promises that have been made are about to be fulfilled. As you reflect on the past, on the moments where you felt discouraged or impatient, remember that those were not times wasted. Every moment of waiting was an essential part of your preparation. The person you are today is not the same as the person you were when you began this journey. You have been shaped, molded, and refined by every experience, every challenge, and every triumph. And now, you stand at the threshold of your next chapter, ready to receive the abundance that is coming your way. In those moments of doubt, you may have questioned the process. You may have wondered if it was ever going to happen. But now, with clarity, you can see that it was always happening. The universe was aligning the perfect people, opportunities, and circumstances at precisely the right time. And now, as you stand on the edge of this great unfolding, you can feel the energy shifting. The waiting is over, and the time for manifestation is now. This is the moment you have been preparing for. Everything you have envisioned for your life, everything you have desired is beginning to materialize. It may not come all at once, but it is already in motion. The universe is responding to your vibration, to the energy you've been putting out into the world. You have been sending out signals of faith, of belief, and of trust, and now the universe is sending those things back to you in the form of opportunities, blessings, and new beginnings. The waiting has allowed you to become stronger in your faith, stronger in your belief that you are worthy of the blessings that are about to come. You have learned that patience is not about doing nothing. It's about trusting the process and allowing things to unfold naturally. You have become more attuned to the divine timing that governs your life. You have learned to let go of the need to control everything and instead surrender to the flow of life. And now, because you have been in alignment with this flow, everything is coming together. You have experienced moments of uncertainty, yes, but in those moments you have learned to trust your intuition. You have learned to listen to the whispers of your soul, guiding you toward your purpose. And now, as you stand here ready to step into the fullness of your divine plan, you can feel the excitement of what's to come. The waiting has allowed you to develop the faith that the universe is always working for you, not against you. It has been preparing you to step into your power, to step into your abundance, and to fully embrace the life that is waiting for you. You might look around and see others in different stages of their own journeys, and that's okay. Their path is not your path. Your journey is unique, and the timing of your blessings is uniquely yours. The waiting was necessary to prepare you for this moment. You couldn't have received the fullness of what is now coming into your life if you had not taken the time to grow, to trust, and to surrender. Now, with open arms, you are ready to receive. But remember, the unfolding of your divine plan doesn't mean that everything will be perfect. There will still be challenges, but these challenges will no longer feel like roadblocks. They will be stepping stones that help you grow even more, that help you refine your vision and your understanding. The universe will continue to expand with you, bringing new experiences, new insights, and new opportunities to help you evolve. Your waiting was never about stagnation, it was about evolution. Now, as the universe begins to unfold the blessings that have been waiting for you, you must remain vigilant. You must remain grounded in your faith, in your trust, and in your belief that everything is happening as it should. Every manifestation that comes into your life is just a reflection of the work you've done internally. The external world is simply a mirror of your internal world. What you have believed, what you have trusted, and what you have felt is now becoming tangible. You are not just waiting for the blessings, you are becoming the person who deserves them. You have already done the work, and now the universe is delivering. It is important to stay aligned with the energy of receiving. You must remain open and receptive to all that is coming your way. Do not close yourself off out of fear or doubt. Remember that the universe operates on the principle of attraction. If you are in alignment with your desires, they will come to you effortlessly. The waiting is over, and now the time has come to accept what is rightfully yours. The universe is always conspiring in your favor, always bringing you closer to the fulfillment of your deepest desires. When doubt tries to creep in, when fear tries to shake your faith, remember this: the universe is infinite, and so are you. There are no limits to what you can achieve. There are no limits to the blessings that are available to you. The only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. And now you are ready to break free from those limitations. You are ready to expand into the fullness of who you are, to embrace the divine plan that is already unfolding before you. Your waiting has prepared you for this moment, and now you can step forward with full confidence that your desires are already manifesting. You are not alone in this journey. The divine is always with you, guiding you, supporting you, and nudging you toward your highest good. The universe is constantly speaking to you, showing you the way, and providing you with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. The waiting was a time for you to strengthen your connection with the divine, to build that trust and faith that will carry you through every moment of your life. And now, as you step into the fullness of your manifestation, you can feel that divine connection more clearly than ever before. The time of waiting has given you the clarity you needed to see the truth of your divine plan. You are here for a reason. You are not just a passive observer in your life. You are an active participant in the unfolding of your destiny. Every thought, every feeling, every action you take is contributing to the manifestation of your desires. The waiting has been part of your process of alignment. Now everything is aligning perfectly for you to step into your greatest good. Your waiting was never in vain. It was the preparation for this moment, for the fulfillment of your heart's deepest desires. The universe has always known when the right time would be for you to receive your blessings. The divine plan has been unfolding all along, and now, as you step into your abundance, you can see that every step, every decision, every moment has been leading you to this perfect time. You are now ready to embrace all that is coming to you. The waiting is over. You have already been chosen. As you stand on the precipice of this new beginning, remember that everything you have been through, every moment of waiting, every challenge, every triumph, has led you to this moment. The divine plan that has been unfolding around you is now coming into full bloom, and you are ready to step into the life that you have always dreamed of. The waiting was never a time of absence. It was a time of preparation, a time for you to grow, to trust, and to align with your highest good. And now, as the universe responds to the energy you've been putting out, your desires are beginning to manifest in tangible ways. Know that you are worthy of all the blessings that are coming your way. Your faith, your patience, and your trust have created the space for miracles to unfold. The divine is always working on your behalf, guiding you, supporting you, and leading you toward your destiny. Your waiting is over, and your time is now. Embrace the unfolding of your divine plan with open arms and a heart full of gratitude. The universe has been waiting for you to realize that everything you need is already within reach. Now is the time to step forward, knowing that all the doors you've been waiting for are about to open wide. Trust in the process, trust in the timing, and trust that everything is unfolding perfectly. You are ready. You must understand that being kind to everyone, while appearing virtuous, may be keeping you from the true power of your thoughts. When you act with kindness to others out of a desire for approval or because of a subconscious need to please, you are reinforcing a belief that you need the approval of others to feel whole. The truth is, the only approval you need is your own. When you choose to give kindness without first aligning it with your inner beliefs and desires, you risk creating a reality that mirrors your inner confusion and lack of self-understanding. Kindness, when it is aligned with your own truth, becomes a powerful tool of manifestation. You must learn to focus on the feelings of love and peace within you, rather than distributing it out to every person in an attempt to fill what seems like an empty space. Real power comes from the understanding that all of the love and kindness you desire in your life is already within you. It is not out there to be given away freely to all, but to be used as a foundation for creating your own world. You do not need to be kind to everyone to prove that you are a good person. The truth is, when you align with your true self, the universe or God responds with exactly what you need. You are not here to give away your energy to every person who asks for it. Your kindness should come from the deep understanding that you are whole and complete, and that your kindness is a reflection of your inner belief in abundance, not a sacrifice of your own essence. When you give kindness freely to others without the necessary internal alignment, you could be projecting a reality of lack, where you are giving away your energy to people and circumstances that do not serve your highest good. To stop being kind to everyone is not about becoming cold or indifferent. It is about recognizing that your kindness must come from a place of empowerment, not from fear or obligation. In every moment, ask yourself, am I giving this kindness because I believe in my own power or because I seek to gain approval? The answer to that question will determine whether your kindness is a force that elevates your life or one that drains your energy. The key is not to give to everyone, but to give to yourself first. By filling yourself with your own love, your own understanding, and your own belief in your divine nature, you will naturally radiate kindness that comes from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. You will stop giving away your power when you understand that kindness is not an act of sacrifice, but a reflection of the abundance within you. Your power lies not in being kind to everyone, but in knowing when it is appropriate to offer kindness and to whom. Choose wisely where you direct your energy. Choose wisely where you place your love. Stop seeking external validation and realize that the only kindness that truly matters is the one that comes from a deep understanding of your own worth. When you know your own value, you will naturally attract those who appreciate your kindness without ever depleting your energy in the process. You must learn that kindness is not something to be given away to everyone indiscriminately. It is a precious energy, one that comes from a deep place of understanding and self-acceptance. When you constantly pour your kindness into others, especially when it is not returned or appreciated, you are unconsciously reinforcing the belief that you are incomplete without their approval. The truth is that you are whole, complete, and powerful in your own right. When you give kindness from a place of need or a desire to be liked, you are creating a reality where you feel unworthy unless others validate you. The world is a reflection of your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings. Every action you take is a projection of the inner world you believe to be true. If you believe that you must be kind to everyone in order to be seen as good or worthy, the universe will continue to reflect that back to you. You will attract situations where you give kindness freely, but it will never fill the emptiness you feel inside. This cycle will repeat until you realize that your kindness must come from a place of strength and self-assurance, not from a place of lack or need. You were never meant to pour yourself out endlessly in an attempt to satisfy the needs and desires of others. You were meant to be a vessel of love, and love cannot be poured from an empty vessel. To be truly kind, you must first recognize that the love you seek is already within you. When you align with your true self, when you embrace your own worth and power, kindness will flow effortlessly, but it will not come at the cost of your own well-being. When you give without first filling yourself up, you are teaching the universe that you are not enough on your own. You are sending the message that you need external validation to feel complete. But that is not the truth of who you are. You are the creator of your own reality. Your thoughts, beliefs, and feelings shape the world around you. If you are giving kindness to others to prove your worth or to earn love, you are denying your own inherent power. You are looking outside yourself for something that is already within. The key is to realize that the love, kindness, and support you seek from others are not external forces that must be earned. They are already within you. When you choose to give kindness, let it come from the fullness of who you are, not from a place of desperation or need. Your kindness must be a reflection of your own self-worth, a natural expression of the love and peace that you have cultivated within yourself. Only then will it be truly transformative, not only for you, but for those around you. Stop giving kindness to everyone, because not everyone deserves the energy you are offering. You must learn to protect your energy and direct it only to those who truly appreciate it. This is not about being selfish or cold-hearted. It is about recognizing your own value and ensuring that your energy is being used to create the life you desire. When you give freely to everyone without discernment, you are sending out a message that you do not value yourself enough to set boundaries. You are essentially telling the universe that you are willing to be depleted in order to please others, and that is not a path to empowerment. Imagine the power you would unleash if you stopped trying to please everyone and instead focused on nurturing yourself. When you begin to give to yourself first, when you put your own needs and desires at the center of your life, You will begin to attract people who appreciate and respect you. These people will not demand endless kindness from you, but will offer you their respect and admiration in return. Your kindness will not come from a place of obligation, but from a place of empowerment, and this will change the dynamics of all of your relationships. The universe operates on the principle of energy exchange. When you give your kindness to others out of a sense of obligation or to gain approval, you are participating in an unequal exchange. You are giving more than you are receiving, and this creates an imbalance in your life. To correct this imbalance, you must first recognize your own worth and the abundance that resides within you. Your kindness should not be given freely to anyone who crosses your path. It should be directed toward those who resonate with your energy, who appreciate the value of what you offer, and who reciprocate the kindness and energy you share. When you begin to realize that you are whole and complete without the need for others to validate you, your entire world will shift. You will no longer feel the need to be kind to everyone in an attempt to gain approval. Instead, you will become more discerning in where you place your energy. You will begin to understand that kindness is not something that should be handed out to everyone you meet, but something that is reserved for those who truly value it. This shift in perspective will not only protect your energy, but it will also allow you to attract the kind of people and circumstances that align with your true desires. It is essential to understand that your kindness is a powerful force. It is not to be squandered or diluted by giving it away to anyone who asks for it. Your kindness must be carefully nurtured and given only when it comes from a place of abundance and self-awareness. The world will reflect back to you what you believe about yourself. If you believe that you must be kind to everyone in order to gain approval, you will attract people and situations that require endless giving from you. However, if you recognize your own value and stop seeking validation from others, the universe will reflect back to you the love, kindness, and respect that you have for yourself. Your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs create your reality. If you believe that kindness must be given to everyone, you are unknowingly creating a reality where you give and give but never receive. This cycle will continue until you recognize the truth that kindness must come from a place of self-love and self-respect. You must first honor yourself, and then you will attract people who honor you in return. Your kindness will become a powerful tool for manifestation, but only when it is rooted in a deep understanding of your own worth. By choosing to stop being kind to everyone, you are taking control of your life. You are recognizing that your energy is precious and should not be given away to everyone who asks for it. When you begin to choose where you direct your kindness, you are setting boundaries that protect your energy and ensure that it is used in alignment with your true desires. This is the key to creating the life you truly want. In your daily life, begin to examine where your kindness is being directed. Are you giving it away freely to everyone in an attempt to be liked or to gain approval? Or are you choosing to give it only to those who truly resonate with your energy? When you shift your focus from pleasing others to honoring yourself, you will begin to see profound changes in your relationships and in the way you experience the world. Your kindness will become a reflection of your own self-worth, and the universe will respond in kind. By stopping the habit of being kind to everyone, you are stepping into your power. You are recognizing that your energy is valuable and should be used wisely. The kindness you give will no longer come from a place of need, but from a place of abundance. You will stop seeking validation from others, and instead you will create a reality where kindness flows effortlessly from you to those who truly deserve it. This shift in perspective will transform your life and help you manifest the reality you desire. When you stop being kind to everyone, you are not shutting off your ability to love or empathize with others. Rather, you are simply recognizing that the kindness you offer must be directed with wisdom and intention. Most people give kindness as a reaction to external situations, not recognizing that kindness, like any energy, must come from within and flow from a place of self-awareness and self-respect. When your kindness is offered without the awareness of your own inner power, it becomes a form of self-sacrifice. It is not the genuine empowering kindness that comes from a place of abundance and wholeness. Instead, it becomes a way to earn favor, to be seen as good, or to gain something from others. This mindset, however, will only leave you feeling depleted. The world operates on a law of energy exchange. What you give is always returned, but when you give with the expectation of receiving something in return, you set yourself up for disappointment. When your kindness is given out of a desire to fill a void, it will never be enough. It will never be enough to prove your worth, nor will it be enough to truly satisfy your needs. You cannot depend on others' validation for your sense of worth. That is not how the universe works. You are the creator of your own reality, and when you realize this truth, you begin to see that all the kindness you seek is already within you. We often forget that kindness is a reflection of who we are. If you are constantly seeking to be kind to others as a way to earn favor, you are reinforcing the idea that you are incomplete without their approval. But you are not incomplete. You are whole and complete in your own right. It is only when you recognize your own worth that kindness flows freely and effortlessly from you. It is only when you understand that love and kindness are not commodities to be traded, but expressions of your inner state, that you will stop feeling like you must give it to everyone in order to prove your value. When you stop being kind to everyone, you begin to see that your kindness has value. You are no longer giving it away freely, hoping that someone will recognize it. You give kindness only when it aligns with your true self, when it flows naturally from a place of peace and understanding. This is when kindness becomes transformative, not just for others, but for yourself. When your kindness is aligned with your own sense of self-worth, it creates a ripple effect in your life. It attracts the right people, the right circumstances, and the right opportunities. Kindness should never be an obligation or something you give out of fear, guilt, or the desire to please others. The truth is, people will always take as much as you are willing to give, and if you are giving without boundaries, you may find yourself drained and unfulfilled. This is why you must stop being kind to everyone. Stop giving away your energy to people who do not value it. Instead, learn to recognize your own worth and reserve your kindness for those who appreciate it. When you are discerning about where and to whom you direct your kindness, you will notice a shift in the energy around you. You will begin to see that those who truly resonate with your energy will come to you. These are the people who appreciate your kindness and will give you the same in return. But those who are only looking to take will begin to fall away, and this is a good thing. You do not need to waste your energy on those who do not appreciate it. Your kindness is not a resource to be depleted. It is a reflection of the abundance within you, and when you recognize that, you will begin to see the power it has. Your ability to give kindness to others is directly tied to your ability to give kindness to yourself. The more you love and care for yourself, the more kindness you have to give. But when you give away your kindness to everyone without first filling your own cup, you are operating from a place of lack. You are sending the message that you do not have enough to offer yourself, and as a result, the universe will mirror that lack back to you. But when you start to honor yourself, when you begin to recognize your own worth, your kindness will flow naturally from a place of abundance. Your kindness is a reflection of your inner state. If you are giving kindness to everyone in order to earn love or approval, it is not true kindness. True kindness flows from a place of inner peace, inner abundance, and self-assurance. When you stop trying to be kind to everyone, you are giving yourself permission to be authentic and real. You are no longer seeking to please others at the expense of your own well-being. You are recognizing that your kindness has value, and it should only be shared with those who truly appreciate it. When you start to stop being kind to everyone, you are also making room for more meaningful and reciprocal relationships. When you stop pouring your energy into those who take without giving, you create space for those who can truly see you, appreciate you, and reciprocate your kindness. These relationships will be built on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and love, and they will nourish you rather than drain you. It is important to understand that not everyone deserves your kindness, and not everyone should be the recipient of your energy. There are people who will take advantage of your kindness, using it for their own gain without offering anything in return. These people are not the ones you should focus your energy on. Instead, direct your kindness to those who offer you the same in return, who see your value and appreciate you for who you are. Your kindness should never be given out of fear, guilt, or the desire to please others. When you recognize your own worth, you will naturally attract the people who are deserving of your kindness. By stopping the habit of being kind to everyone, you are taking back your power. You are no longer giving your energy away to people who do not value it. You are recognizing that your kindness is a gift and it should be offered only to those who truly appreciate it. This shift in perspective will not only protect your energy, but will also help you create more fulfilling and meaningful relationships. When you stop being kind to everyone, you stop seeking validation from external sources. You begin to realize that you are already enough just as you are. You do not need to prove your worth to anyone by constantly giving. Your kindness is a reflection of the love and respect you have for yourself, and when you recognize that, you will stop seeking it from others. You will no longer feel the need to be kind to everyone in order to feel good about yourself. Instead, your kindness will flow naturally from a place of inner peace and self-assurance, and it will attract the right people and circumstances into your life. The power of kindness lies in its authenticity. When you stop being kind to everyone, you start giving kindness from a place of authenticity. Your kindness is no longer a tool to gain approval or favor. It is a reflection of your true self. You will no longer feel drained or depleted by your kindness because it is coming from a place of abundance. This is when your kindness becomes a transformative force, not only in your own life, but in the lives of those around you. When you stop being kind to everyone, you open yourself up to a new reality, one where kindness is an expression of your inner truth, not an obligation. You begin to recognize your own worth, and you stop seeking approval from others. As a result, your kindness becomes a powerful force that attracts the right people, the right opportunities, and the right circumstances into your life. As you stop being kind to everyone, you start to acknowledge that kindness is not a blanket gesture that you give to all people indiscriminately. It becomes a conscious act, chosen only for those who resonate with your energy and align with your values. You begin to understand that kindness is not an endless supply that you can just give away in the hope of gaining something in return. It is a reflection of your inner state, a reflection of your own self-love and self-worth. When you are constantly trying to be kind to everyone around you, you may find yourself running on empty, giving away pieces of yourself in an attempt to fill a void that no amount of external kindness can ever fill. You must first learn to be kind to yourself, to nourish your own soul before you can genuinely offer kindness to others. Self-kindness is the foundation that supports all external kindness. Without it, your acts of kindness may become superficial, driven by the desire for external validation or the fear of rejection. If you are constantly seeking approval from others by being kind to them, you are inadvertently telling yourself that you are not enough as you are. This disconnection from your own worth leaves you feeling empty and unseen, no matter how much kindness you give. True kindness begins with the realization that you are already whole. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone, and you don't need to prove your value through endless acts of kindness. When you stop being kind to everyone, you stop looking outside of yourself for validation and approval. You start to look within. You begin to realize that kindness is a reflection of your inner state. It flows from the abundance of love and compassion that you cultivate within. When you are rooted in your own sense of self-worth, your kindness becomes an expression of your true nature, not an attempt to gain something from others. You no longer feel compelled to offer kindness in exchange for acceptance, because you understand that you are already worthy of love and respect, simply by being yourself. By being more selective about where and to whom you direct your kindness, you begin to set boundaries that honor your own needs and desires. This doesn't mean that you are withholding kindness from others. It simply means that you are becoming intentional about how you share it. You recognize that your energy is precious, and that it should be directed toward those who can appreciate it and reciprocate it. You stop being the source of endless energy for people who take and take without ever giving back. You no longer allow others to drain you, because you understand that your kindness must flow from a place of balance, not depletion. This selective approach to kindness is not about being selfish or cold-hearted. It is about protecting your own well-being while still being compassionate. It is about choosing to invest your time and energy in relationships that are mutually supportive and respectful. When you stop being kind to everyone, you begin to attract people who value your energy and appreciate your kindness. These relationships are based on mutual understanding, respect, and love, rather than the desire to gain something from one another. You no longer feel the need to prove your worth through your actions. Your worth is inherent, and it is no longer tied to what you can give to others. As you stop being kind to everyone, you also stop seeking approval from external sources. You begin to recognize that your worth is not dependent on the validation of others. This shift in mindset is incredibly liberating. You no longer feel the need to bend over backward to please others, to be the source of everyone's happiness. You stop looking to others for reassurance because you have already found that reassurance within yourself. This newfound sense of inner security and self-love is a powerful force. It allows you to give kindness freely, but only when it comes from a place of alignment with your authentic self. This shift from external validation to internal validation changes the way you approach relationships. You begin to attract people who are also aligned with their true selves, people who value authenticity and mutual respect. These relationships are no longer about what you can give to one another to gain approval, but rather about two whole people coming together to share love and support. When you stop being kind to everyone, you make space for deeper, more meaningful connections. You are no longer giving away pieces of yourself to people who do not appreciate or reciprocate your kindness. Instead, you are nurturing relationships that are built on respect, love, and a mutual understanding of each other's worth. When you recognize that kindness is not something to be given away indiscriminately, you also begin to recognize that your time, energy, and resources are valuable. You start to make conscious choices about where to invest these things, and you no longer waste them on people who are not aligned with your values. This selective approach to kindness allows you to preserve your energy and protect your peace. You begin to live with more intention, focusing on the relationships and experiences that bring you joy and fulfillment, rather than spreading yourself thin in an attempt to please everyone. As you stop being kind to everyone, you also begin to see the world differently. You stop viewing kindness as something you must give to everyone in order to be seen as good or worthy. Instead, you begin to see kindness as a tool for creating deeper, more meaningful connections with those who appreciate and value you. Your kindness becomes a reflection of your inner peace and self-love. It is no longer something you give away to gain approval. It is something that naturally flows from the abundance within you. In the process of learning to stop being kind to everyone, you will also learn to set boundaries with others. You will no longer allow people to take advantage of your kindness or your time. This is not about being harsh or unkind. It is about recognizing your own worth and respecting your own needs. You begin to realize that you are not responsible for everyone's happiness, and you stop carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders. You understand that true kindness comes from a place of inner peace and balance, and it cannot be sustained if you are constantly giving without receiving in return. As you stop being kind to everyone, you also begin to take responsibility for your own happiness. You no longer rely on others to fill the void within you. You understand that happiness comes from within, and it is your responsibility to cultivate it. When you stop seeking external validation through acts of kindness, you begin to realize that you are the creator of your own reality. You have the power to choose how you show up in the world, and you have the power to choose who you share your energy with. This realization is incredibly empowering because it frees you from the need to please others and allows you to live authentically. When you stop being kind to everyone, you stop seeing yourself as someone who must constantly give in order to be worthy of love and acceptance. You begin to understand that you are already worthy, just as you are. Your kindness is not something to be earned or proven. It is something that flows naturally from your true self. You no longer feel the need to bend over backward to be liked or accepted. Instead, you live in alignment with your authentic self, and you attract people who appreciate you for who you truly are. The more you stop being kind to everyone, the more you will realize that kindness is not a transaction. It is not something you give in exchange for something else. Kindness is an expression of love, and it should flow freely from a place of abundance. When you stop giving away your energy to people who do not appreciate it, you will find that your kindness becomes more powerful, more meaningful, and more transformative. You will attract people who value your energy and reciprocate your kindness. Your relationships will be more fulfilling, and your life will be filled with love, joy, and peace. As you step into this new awareness of selective kindness, you begin to recognize that kindness, when given freely and intentionally, becomes a magnet for the right kind of people, the ones who genuinely resonate with your energy. It is not about drawing people to you out of obligation or manipulation. Instead, it is about attracting relationships and experiences that are in harmony with who you truly are. You stop engaging in relationships because you feel obligated or because you think you need to please someone. Instead, you form connections based on mutual respect, understanding, and shared values. This is the power of intentional kindness. Being selective does not mean you stop being compassionate or that you become cold or indifferent. Quite the opposite. It means you are no longer wasting your time and energy on people who have no respect for your boundaries or your well-being. You are discerning about where and how you direct your energy, recognizing that kindness is not an infinite resource, but something that needs to be cultivated and protected. It is an act of self-preservation to not give kindness to everyone, because when you offer it indiscriminately, it dilutes its power, and over time you can become emotionally drained, even resentful. True kindness, when given from a place of abundance, has the ability to heal, to inspire, and to connect in ways that superficial gestures never could. In this journey, you start to realize that people's reactions to your kindness are not an indicator of your worth. In the past, you may have believed that being kind to everyone would earn you love, admiration, or validation, but you begin to see that such validation is fleeting and unreliable. The world is full of people who take advantage of others' good nature, expecting kindness without giving anything in return. You don't need to be one of those people who constantly give, expecting something in return. When you stop giving kindness just to receive something back, you align with a higher vibration of love and abundance. Your kindness becomes a reflection of your inner peace, not a transaction that needs to be reciprocated. The more you embrace this idea, the more empowered you feel. The world no longer holds power over your emotions or your actions. You start to see that true power lies in your ability to choose. Choose where you focus your energy, whom you share your time with, and how you direct your kindness. You become the creator of your own experiences, no longer at the mercy of others' expectations or judgments. As you begin to shift your focus inward, you realize that the way people respond to you is less important than how you feel about yourself. It is only when you feel worthy and grounded within yourself that your actions, whether they be acts of kindness or any other, become authentic and truly impactful. You may also begin to notice that when you stop being kind to everyone, your relationships become more authentic. You stop trying to please people out of fear or obligation and instead focus on forming genuine connections. You start to engage with people who share your values and who appreciate you for who you are. The shallow relationships that were based on superficial kindness and approval begin to fall away, making room for deeper, more fulfilling connections. This shift is liberating. No longer do you feel that you need to earn others' affection by endlessly giving of yourself. You come to understand that real relationships are built on mutual respect and understanding, not on one person constantly giving while the other takes. This deeper understanding of kindness allows you to become more attuned to your own needs. You start to recognize when you are giving too much, when you are overextending yourself in an attempt to please others, and when you need to step back and focus on yourself. This awareness is empowering. It enables you to protect your energy and your peace. When you stop giving kindness to everyone, you start to realize that your emotional energy is valuable. You are no longer just offering it to anyone who asks, but instead you direct it toward people who will appreciate it and reciprocate it. This makes your acts of kindness more powerful because they come from a place of fullness, not depletion. At the same time, as you stop being kind to everyone, you begin to release the need for external validation. You stop seeking approval from others and recognize that your worth is not determined by how others perceive you. You realize that you are worthy of love and respect simply because you exist. You are worthy of kindness because you are a divine being, a unique expression of the universe. This realization frees you from the shackles of people-pleasing and the anxiety that comes with trying to maintain everyone's approval. When you stop being kind to everyone, you start to live life on your terms, guided by your inner knowing and your own sense of self-worth. You may also notice that as you stop being kind to everyone, you become more attuned to your own desires and goals. Your focus shifts from constantly pleasing others to cultivating a life that aligns with your true purpose and passion. You stop letting the needs and wants of others dictate how you spend your time and energy. Instead, you begin to prioritize your own growth, your own well-being, and your own dreams. This shift in focus is a powerful one. It allows you to break free from the limitations that others' expectations may have placed on you. You start to see that your dreams are valid and that you are worthy of pursuing them, regardless of whether others approve or not. In the process of learning to stop being kind to everyone, you also learn to trust yourself more deeply. You start to trust your intuition and your inner guidance. You no longer rely on others' opinions or advice to validate your choices. You begin to trust that the decisions you make are aligned with your highest good, even if they do not always align with what others want or expect. This self-trust is the foundation of your personal power. It is the key to creating a life that is authentic and fulfilling. As you continue on this journey, you may also notice that your interactions with others begin to change. You attract people who are aligned with your energy and your values. These people appreciate you for who you are, not for what you can do for them. Your relationships become more balanced and reciprocal. You stop feeling like you have to constantly give in order to earn love or approval. Instead, you experience the joy of giving freely, without expectation, because you know that you are already whole and worthy of love just as you are. The more you honor yourself, the more others will begin to honor you. When you stop being kind to everyone, you stop compromising your authenticity in an attempt to fit into others' expectations. You stop contorting yourself to make others comfortable, and instead you stand tall in your own truth. This authenticity is magnetic. It draws people to you who resonate with your energy and who appreciate you for who you truly are. No longer do you feel the need to prove yourself through acts of kindness. You simply are, and that is enough. You begin to attract the people, experiences, and opportunities that align with your true self, because you are no longer hiding behind a facade of constant giving and pleasing. In the end, as you stop being kind to everyone, you start to realize that kindness is not something you give away in order to receive something in return. It is not a transaction, but an expression of your inner love and abundance. When your kindness flows from a place of fullness, it has the power to heal, to transform, and to connect. But it must come from a place of balance, not depletion. You must first give to yourself, honor your own needs, and trust your own worth before you can truly give kindness to others in a way that is meaningful and impactful. When you stop being kind to everyone, you stop living for others and start living for yourself. You begin to understand that your worth is inherent, and that kindness, when given freely and intentionally, becomes a powerful tool for attracting the right people, experiences, and opportunities into your life. As you progress in understanding that not everyone deserves your kindness, you begin to notice a subtle shift in your perspective. It is no longer about withholding kindness or being rigid in your approach to others. Instead, it is about conserving your emotional and mental energy for the people and experiences that truly deserve it. You stop giving your precious energy to people who don't value it. And in doing so, you make space for those who do. You are not just protecting yourself, you are empowering yourself by making more intentional choices about where you focus your love, care, and attention. In this space of empowerment, you begin to notice that those who truly resonate with your energy will begin to show up in your life. The people who are in alignment with your true self will appear, and you will form relationships based on a deeper understanding of one another. These relationships will not be transactional, based on what each of you can get from the other, but instead will be genuine, based on mutual respect, trust, and love. In this space, you stop seeking to please others and you stop believing that kindness is a tool you must use to gain approval or validation. Instead, you allow yourself to just be, knowing that your worth does not depend on others' approval of you. As you cultivate this discernment, you begin to see that your kindness is not meant to be spread thin over everyone you meet, but instead should be reserved for those who truly respect and appreciate it. You are not being unkind by withholding your energy from those who do not deserve it. In fact, you are showing them the greatest kindness of all, by allowing them to learn their own lessons, by letting them face their own consequences, without the crutch of your constant giving. Your self-awareness grows, and you realize that by choosing where to direct your energy, you are becoming a more deliberate creator of your experiences. This practice of being more selective with your kindness is not just about setting boundaries with others, it is also about setting boundaries with yourself. You begin to look inward and ask, am I being kind to myself? Am I allowing myself the space to rest, to rejuvenate, to feel my emotions fully without the pressure to constantly give to others? It becomes clear that self-kindness, self-compassion, and self-care are just as important, if not more so, than the kindness you extend to others. You cannot give what you do not have. If your own well is dry, you will not be able to offer genuine kindness to anyone, no matter how much you may want to. There is power in the pause, in the space between your interactions with others. It is in these moments of stillness that you reconnect with your true self. It is in these moments that you understand the depths of your own worth. When you no longer feel the need to constantly give to others, you start to recognize the beauty of simply being, the power of simply existing as you are. It is a profound understanding that you do not need to earn love or approval. You are worthy of kindness, respect, and love simply because you are alive. You do not need to go out of your way to please others, to gain their affection or approval. The more you step into this understanding, the more you free yourself from the cycle of people-pleasing and constant self-sacrifice. The people who will truly appreciate you will find their way to you. They will see your worth not because you have given everything you have to them, but because you have stood firm in your own value regardless of external circumstances. They will appreciate your kindness because it is offered from a place of abundance, not depletion. You will no longer feel the need to chase after affection or approval because you have become the source of your own validation. In this new way of being, you will find that true connections are forged through authenticity, not through the constant effort of pleasing others. You will attract people who resonate with your energy, who understand the power of mutual respect and reciprocity. These are the relationships that will nourish you and support your growth. There is freedom in releasing the need to constantly give and please. It is as though you are stepping out of the chains of external validation and stepping into a space where your value is already inherent. You realize that kindness, while beautiful, is not something you need to offer indiscriminately. You have the power to choose who gets to experience your kindness, who gets to witness your generosity of spirit. And in choosing more carefully, you are actually giving your kindness more power and intention. It is not wasted or scattered, but offered in a way that is aligned with your highest good. As you move deeper into this awareness, you will find that the people who are meant to be in your life will naturally begin to show up. These are the people who will not demand your kindness because they are already aligned with the energy you are cultivating. They will not ask for your love because they will recognize that it is already present within you, overflowing and ready to be shared, but only when it is right. Your relationships will be more balanced and fulfilling because they are based on a foundation of mutual respect, understanding, and authenticity. You will also start to see how your own relationship with yourself shifts. When you stop being kind to everyone, you are no longer placing yourself in a position where you are constantly giving, constantly sacrificing. You begin to make space for your own needs and desires, knowing that they are just as valid as anyone else's. You stop looking to others for validation and start looking inward for the approval and love that you have always needed. You become your own best friend, the one who offers you the love and kindness that you had once sought from others. In this new way of being, kindness is not something you are forced to offer or something you feel you need to give in order to gain approval. It is simply an expression of your authentic self offered to those who are deserving and in alignment with your energy. It is no longer a transaction, but a natural overflow of your inner peace and strength. As you become more selective about where you place your energy, you stop feeling drained and depleted. Instead, you feel energized and empowered, knowing that your kindness is making a difference in the lives of those who truly value it. The more you learn to hold your energy in this way, the more you will be able to show up as your most authentic self in all areas of your life. You will no longer be bound by the need to please others, and instead you will radiate the kind of energy that attracts the right people and opportunities. Your life will become a reflection of the boundaries you set, the kindness you offer, and the respect you have for yourself. It is through this journey of self-awareness, self-love, and discernment that you come to realize that the greatest gift you can give yourself and others is the ability to honor your own worth, and to offer kindness not as an obligation, but as a powerful choice, made from a place of fullness and alignment with your true self. Understanding when to withhold kindness is not about being harsh or unloving. It is about recognizing your own value and choosing where to invest your emotional and mental energy. By discerning who truly deserves your kindness, you are not only protecting yourself, but also empowering yourself to create relationships based on mutual respect and authenticity. You no longer need to seek approval or validation from others because you have learned to honor and love yourself first. As you embrace this practice of selective kindness, you begin to attract people and experiences that resonate with your true self. Ultimately, by setting boundaries and choosing when and where to give, you preserve your energy and cultivate deeper, more meaningful connections. In this space of self-awareness, your kindness becomes a powerful tool, offered with intention, purpose, and love, creating a life that reflects your inner peace and strength.